Welcome to Snowmobile Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. It's the #1 destination to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passion and show your fan photos. Welcome to Snowmobile Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. It's the #1 destination to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passion and show your fan photos along the way. Snowmobile Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.
This episode of Snowmobile Sessions Live is brought to you by Energy Powersports. They're Oakville's full-line BRP dealer with sales and service to all BRP models and so much more. Energy Powersports always has the fun in store with a wide selection of clothing, parts, and accessories for all your powersports passions. Make Energy Powersports your source for Can-Am off-road, ATV, and side-by-sides. Can-Am on-road Ryker and Spyder, including the sporty F3S. Sea-Doo watercraft and Switch pontoon boats. And Alumacraft fishing boats powered by Mercury Marine. Put yourself on a Manitou pontoon or a Widescape stand-up snowmobile. Energy Powersports is the home for Lynx and Ski-Doo snowmobiles for the entire family. Do you feel the energy? Energy Powersports, 879 Cranberry Court, Oakville, Ontario, or online, energypowersports.ca. Fan photos are brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction. This season, quit sliding sideways on the ice and losing races to your buddies. A Fast Track stud kit will help you with improved braking and give you the arm-ripping acceleration you crave. I put over 3,000 clicks last season on my Renegade 850, and I'll tell you, these studs exceeded my expectations. Not one broken stud, my Ida wheels still look like new, and they hooked up like I was on rails in the twisties, inspiring confidence every ride. Fast Track Top Gun kits are the highest rated stud kit at 4.9 stars with over 230 reviews. The studs are heat treated stainless so they are strong and they don't rust. The kit is lighter, easier on the track, and has a lifetime warranty against breaking. Each kit comes with a track specific template for complete balance with over double the scratch lines from stock templates. All listeners when purchasing a stud kit can get a free install kit, a $30 value. Visit fasttrack.co, add both products to the cart, and use the coupon code SNOW at the checkout. That's fasttrac.co.
All right. We're here today. We had Matt from South Simcoe Machine scheduled on, and he had something come up that he couldn't make tonight. So we thought we'd come on and just talk about trade shows and events and open houses. And as you all know, that we announced last week that John Luke at Energy Powersports has the big one happening all week. It started today, and John Luke's going to spend some time with us tonight to talk more about what's happening through the week and this weekend. And good afternoon, good evening, John Luke.
It's good evening, Gary. It's dark outside. You know what? It's really great when we get to do this because this time of the year the weather is changing, and finally got really cold, which is great. Although I hear Wednesday is going to be plus 20, but that's probably just a blip on the radar. Yeah, it's just a really big pleasure to be with you guys tonight. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Well, I know Mother Nature, I think she's just teasing us, and then she's going to just lay a dumping on us that come the end of December, early January. So I don't think we have much to worry about. All the forecasts, you had said it on the weekend in one of your reels, they're all pointing to good news, you know?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. The at the show that we just had at the Toronto International Snowmobile ATV and Powersports Show this weekend, that was the talk. Everyone I was having a chat with, they're absolutely convinced. Anything from the wasp's nest. Apparently, when those are very high, it means that there's going to be a good amount of snow. Some stuff about stars and wheat. Of course that the Farmer's Almanac is critical and all this stuff, but yeah, everyone is calling for a lot of snow, and let's face it, we deserve a good dump. we deserve a good winter. Last year was really an epic disaster, but it happens. When you take a look at the historical data, every 20 years or so, it happens, and that was last year. So turn that page onto 2024-2025 season.
Yeah, I think the true diehard snowmobilers, I mean, we've had this conversation years ago that they don't lose faith in a year like last year. They make the best of it, and we're not in it for a year. The guys that are in it for just a season have their sleds for sale right now, So the hardcore guys take it as a bop on the chin from Mother Nature, and they move on, right? So
yeah, it's tough. I mean, certainly from when you're in the skidoo business, of course we're in business to make money. That's the only reason why we can exist. We've got to be able to survive that way. But a season like that really, really hurts. There's no doubt about it. It makes it extremely difficult. But I was talking to some dealers this morning from Quebec and Chicoutimi. They already have had snow, so they've got a bit of a small, albeit blanket, but it started, and so they're getting excited. And of course, you're probably seeing a lot of the footage of the guys out west. High elevation, there's already some dusting, so it seems to be a good start, and we'll see what happens with that.
Algonquin Park had snow on the weekend.
Yeah, they did.
It was on CTV News. It was either Sunday morning or early this morning that they had a picture from the camera at the visitor center there, and the trees were all covered, and there was a light dusting on the ground. So it's cool. It'll come. I'm not really getting too worried yet,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see who's in the house here tonight. We got LaPointe-Ski. He come in first. Said great start to the week. It was awesome to see him on the weekend as well. I was at the show all day Sunday. Chris Watson says good evening. We got some pictures from him. Olive Gardeno says he's all pumped for another episode. DP Rocks chimed in on his phone. He's sitting right beside me. Wisco sent us in some photos as well. Uncle Buck, welcome back, buddy. And Mrs. Uncle Buck's probably sitting right there. It goes on. Rob Overholt here. We got a good chat.
Yeah, Rob's there. Yeah.
Nunzio's in the house. Yeah. Nunzio I missed at the show, but we talked a lot about him. I sent him a little video in a private chat there. William McClearly's there. Who else did you see here?
That comment right there from Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck said he ordered a set of QUALIPIECES Carbides and picked up an Ultimax belt. Love to see that. So we got Energy here. We got the full power here, the best combination. Energy Powersports Skidoo. I got the Fast Track stud shirts, and he's wearing the QUALIPIECES. So we got the triple threat is on the screen.
I think next week, if Ashby is ever going to see this, I think I need to wear an Ultimax belt around my neck, my head, like a peak of my hat.
Oh yeah, for sure. Jimmy G says, "Who's going to Novi Snowmobile Show?" That's this weekend. And Tim Druin walked in the house and he says, "Hey guys." So
I think the guys from BRP were heading down next, so they packed up last night late, the Warnet boys, and heading down to Novi.
Yeah, that's great.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right over the border. That's usually the weekend that we're setting up Windsor. So
yeah. Well, last year's weekend, that was Caitlin's graduation. I was contemplating going because I obviously am down in that neck of the woods most of the time. But
yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about this big event here. I'm going to actually make it huge on screen, and that's coming up this weekend. And like we got the open house. It started today. Energy's biggest sales and deals ever, with up to $2,000 off Skidoo and Lynx snowmobiles. Plus, they've got financing as low as 1.49%. I'm going to get myself off the screen here because this is great.
You're hiding all the good stuff.
You got all the good stuff. 2025 models are going to be on the floor, and lots of pre-owned sleds too, and big savings on clothing. And you got to understand, if you follow Energy on the social media channels, Instagram and Facebook, that when they do an open house and they say they have clothing, they have racks. They have racks of oil. They have racks of accessories. They have skids piled up with stuff. Go ahead, Jean-Luc. Let's talk about this a bit.
Yeah, well, speaking of racks, so what we did is, and we do this every year, but we go and we BRP always has other excess inventory. So we try to do a special buy of some of the stuff. So we rolled it actually this morning onto the floor, so we got lots of really good deals. We will have a deal on XPS that we've never had before, and I can't say it unfortunately online, but it's in store only. You cannot find it online, but we did a special buy on XPS, and that'll be throughout the week. So today through November 2nd, our open house week. So we're on sale all week, and on Saturday is when we bring the rest of the fanfare. We're going to put every used sleds that we have left. We didn't have a lot of used. We're very, very picky about used. We like them to be recent. We need them to be in good shape, and we want them with low mileage or well equipped. We love picking up spring orders as much as possible. Those are the ones that people are really looking for. So all the used sleds pre-owned will be in front. Every side-by-side we have will be outside. As I said, we have special deals throughout the store. I'll tell you, it starts at 50% off, all the way to 80% on some of the stuff, on some of the apparel that we've purchased for special buy. Some of the stuff is not. There'll be other deals for the new 2025 collection. And with respect to vehicles, we've got, I've never seen Ski-Doo put $2,000 off, let alone 1.49% in, as long as I've been a dealer. You may argue it's not been very long, but we're in our 6th year and I've never seen 1.49% interest rate. So you get to choose. It's a choice program. You get to choose the warranty, $2,000 off accessories, $2,000 off the sled, up to $2,000 off, and or the rate 1.49. So we'll have a variety of 24s on the floor. We get a great selection left, and because like every other deals, we did carry some 24s, and we're running down a lot on our 25s. We do have some very nice spring orders. Some were cancellations. Unfortunately, some people in the summer came to us and said we're looking to cancel, unfortunately, because they don't have the means to it. No problem. So those sleds are going to be turned back into inventory and available. So I'll tell you, just reading a few here real quick. We've got some MXZX, MXZX RS. We got some Expedition SEs, which is kind of rare to have. What else we got? We have some 900 Ace Turbo R sleds. For those of you looking for the 4 strokes, MXZX RS. We have, I think, one competition 850 Turbo, all black. So there's just a good variety of stuff, and we have a backcountry XRS.
Sweet.
So and those sleds are going to be put on the floor. I know some are arriving this week, so I've asked the team to stay a little bit later if we can get them ready for the week, or at least for the weekend. So super, super excited. It's great, to have these open houses. Many dealers do them. I think they're important. They're important to get to see people again, because it's a different crowd. We get to meet in the summer, the ATVers, the Sea-Doo riders. Some crossover, they do it all. But our Ski-Doo and off-road crowd in the fall just is a different clientele. It's always very, very nice to get them to come inside the house and say hello. So.
And you treat us well when we're there. Like, you treat all the customers coming in very well. Your staff is on point at these events.
Thank you.
It's a great time. Just saying, we were talking about this, Drew and I. You go from the Toronto Snowmobile Show and it was kind of meh, you don't know what to expect every year when you go in, and the deals just aren't there, and they're fewer and fewer. And then you've got, why pay $25 admission when you can go to Energy Powersports for free this weekend and the deals are real? You know what I mean? And I'm not just saying that to blow, smoke and mirrors. It's really, if you're looking for clothing and jackets, and that's what you seeked out at the Toronto Snowmobile Show, and you didn't find it, you will find it at Energy. You know what I mean? And
if you're looking for a Ski-Doo or a Lynx jacket, I didn't find them there for sure. There's no doubt, the shows in general, and I'm saying in general, including the car show, the boat show. They have changed over the last 5 years, and I certainly think that COVID had something to do with it. And it's getting increasingly expensive for any dealers or manufacturers to be there. Like Articat was not even there as a corporate booth.
No,
They didn't show up, right?
no.
It was a dealer, and God bless their soul, they did the best they could with what they had. I think the team from Aberfoyle did a good job. Try to represent the brand as best they could. They brought a lot of sleds. It's a lot of work. I'll tell you, like, we've done it one year, a couple of years in a row, and you helped us out, Gary, right, to put the show together. And it's extremely expensive. I don't think people understand how expensive it is. That's why those tickets are so expensive. But this year, yeah, it felt different. It felt a little bit different. And I don't have I have a call on it tomorrow with the folks from BRP on debrief. So I'm looking forward to see what they'll say. It was an interesting interesting time to walk through. And I went on Friday and on Sunday. I skipped Saturday. But I expected it to be much busier than it was. It felt smaller. So I don't know. It was
I just like to say that for every leaf filter and insurance company that takes up a booth spot, the worse the show gets. The more booths, I think I walked past more booths without even batting an eye at what it was, because it wasn't even remotely snowmobile related, and or ATV, dirt bike, snowmobile. Hell, they weren't even selling lawnmowers and trimmers. It's just
I saw generators.
Why they're spending the money. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah,
I see a lot of sausage vendors and cheese now. There's. I mean, for me, I look forward to the snowmobile show, the Toronto Snowmobile Show, because I want to see stuff about the lifestyle. So I really like seeing the people from the clubs. They can give you lots of information on where to book hotels, accommodation, and where where to park your vehicle and all that stuff. So you get a lot out of that. So if you want to do a bit of a tourist type of approach, and to understand where to go. But when Ford, and you could argue that Ford being a car company, trucks, it makes sense to be there because it's automotive, and you do need a vehicle to bring your sled someplace. Trailers should be there for sure, but some of the vendors, they look a little bit more like a filler than they. So that's a little bit disappointing. I wanted to get more, memorabilia for the beautiful shop that Corey created for me at my cottage, and but I didn't get to see it. There was only one vendor there, and he was just not the stuff I was looking for, right? But I remember in the past, there was some really cool stuff. So I might check out Sledorama, although that's only a one-day show. We'll see. It's by the same promoter as well. That's an entirely different type of show, right?
It's more of the vintage and used stuff for sure.
Yeah, which is sort of what I'm kind of looking for to kind of complete my little man cave. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. It's getting cool.
Yeah, oh, for sure. It looks great. I just got to say thank you, Chris Watson, for the $50 super sticker. I appreciate that. Ka-ching. And we'll go through a couple of comments here that came in while you're talking. Turbo TDI says he wants one of those demo 600 Rikers.
Hey, we're picking this 4 up tomorrow. I assume he's talking about the school units. So there's 4 coming in from Toronto. We supplied to 2 schools at Energy, and to really get people to try them. And incidentally, I think if there's one thing I can talk about the show again and the Riker, BRP was. I think the presence of BRP was really great. Not only do we have our sled and our ATVs and off-road there, we generally occupy a good portion, but also the guys from Factory Rec, I think, did a good job at the front end. So the presence of BRP was really great. And then at the back in Hall 3, you could try a Riker or a Spider, right?
Yeah, that was cool.
So the presence of BRP was very significant. I thought that was really, really cool. And but back to the Riker, yeah, we're picking up a few. They are extremely low kilometers, those units, and they're 94, 97 plus tax. So it doesn't get any cheaper than that. It's a really, really good deal.
Easy way to get into it. Yeah. Rob Overholt said he felt the show was kind of disappointing this year. IJGU88 says first year he's never attended the show. It's far from a snowmobile show anymore, and no deals to be had. Better off supporting your local dealer. That's what we
appreciate that, by the way. We really do. Like to be a dealer today, and I'm talking to everyone here right now, it's challenging. And for those of you who own a business, if you do, you understand. If we don't have consumers coming in every day or online, to our Shopify store, or Amazon store, it makes it extremely difficult. It's a huge investment. I don't think people can understand the millions of dollars that resides here today at Energy Powersports, between all the product, but also the parts, to make sure that we have the parts. We pride ourselves in having the largest selection of parts and accessories, and undoubtedly we do in Canada, for Canada anyway. You have to have it if you want to sell it and to be of good service, but it takes a lot of money to make this thing turn. So appreciate everyone supporting their local dealers, not only Energy, but the rest of the network as well. It's quite important.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Joe Glover kind of echoed what we had said. He stopped going because of lack of deals. His dealer had an open house, and he saved 30% on everything he was willing to buy. So, and there you go. I'll never forget, years ago, I was looking for a jacket. I bought a jacket at the show, and then I went to a dealer open house the following weekend, and they had the better jacket, lower price than what I paid at the show. And that's not factoring in admission. So definitely, if you're looking for Ski-Doo or Lynx clothing, a dealer is the way to get it. Uncle Buck, he was hunting down trail maps, but didn't notice that a lot of districts didn't have any. And
he's right.
Yeah. Lapoinski said lots of guys are missing. Neil Owens in the house. Hey, Neil, welcome to the show tonight. I had a good chat with him on the weekend too. He's looking good and doing well. Yeah, and Chris Watson said the same thing. He bought a few things from his dealer, including signal lights, not at the show. So it's it's kind of interesting. I think the trade show is a great idea, and I think everybody's in the right mindset and spirit. But I think they have to do more to get the old core back. I was telling Drew about the days when I was young, and we go and there's tables full of items to buy, and I mean you could come home with everything, stud kits in hand and tracks and you name it. It was more than just Royal. It was,
and it's hard because you don't want to, the biggest reason that I think a lot of people don't bring stock like that is because the money they're already spending to come to the show. I couldn't imagine if, just example, the guys we were with, QUALIPIECES brought 25 wheel kits for each, like 10, like say 5 wheel kits and 5 carbide kits for every sled. That's a lot of stuff to move. You would have had to rent a whole trailer to bring all that in. So you get it, because it's a mix of people also not buying the stuff anymore. And I think that these bad winters have not helped this trade show. This is applying to heydays, all the shows, Sledorama, heydays, International Snowmobile Show. I think it's just the market is just changing. It's an online market, and I'm sure you know that too, with your great online store you opened up this year.
Well, so we've had the online store now open. We've revamped it this year, but we've been the largest online dealer in Canada for some time now. We're by far the largest, simply because we have it over in excess of 38,000 parts and accessories. So pretty much the entire catalog, and we have to make sure that we have at least 1 or 2 of each. It's just a lot, and of course that'll include the nuts and bolts, which there's many types, but you do have to carry a very wide selection. And just think about it, MXZ, backcountry, Lynx, all these things, it's a different SKU for each and every one of those things. Thank God for Link, because it fits everything. That really helps for sure. But yeah, Drew, we opened up our Shopify store. So if you go to energypowersports.ca, click on the online store, that'll take you to our Shopify store, and you can actually I think there's a 10% if it's the first time you purchase from us. But it's and there's going to be some stuff on Black Friday, so I can't tell you too much. We're waiting for BRP to give us the details. That'll be post open house. Our open house deals in-house in the store will be better, but yeah, so your online presence is critical, It has to be an extension of what you do in store. You can't just hope that the door is going to swing open anymore at your bricks and mortar store. That's why you see a lot more dealers doing it. But I believe that in order to serve the consumers the best, is you need to have the selection, and that's extremely difficult. When you get 30 to 80% off on stuff, it's because the dealer went and put their head on the deck and just say, hey, we're all in. We're gonna do a special buy, and so we can pass on some savings. Because there's not 80% profit on any of the stuff we sell. I guarantee that. There's rarely 30% now. So it absolutely has changed. And I think back to the shows, the landscape has changed. Last year at the Toronto International Auto Show, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, Honda, Acura, Mazda were not at the show.
And Chrysler as well. They didn't send half their brands either. Stellantis, sorry.
Right. Well, Chrysler actually was not Chrysler Canada. It was actually the dealers. So it just goes to show you the dynamic is changing, and that has a lot to do with online. Of course, the consumer can sip on a cup of coffee at home or while having a beer and just kind of peruse every showroom in the country. So it makes it super convenient. I like to touch. I like the old type of shows, and I think we need to get back to that. If the Toronto Snowmobile Show, and I know the guys at the Toronto Snowmobile Show they work real hard. They work the phone. They try to bring the right exhibitors all the time. So they work real hard at it. But maybe I'd prefer maybe a smaller show that'd be really about snowmobiles, and maybe that's not viable from a profitability point of view, from a show standpoint, to attract, the right audience or enough of the right audience. But I believe that the show's got to reinvent itself a little bit, and I think they will. They'll find a solution and hopefully get it back to where it needs to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. They need the street credibility back with it, because snowmobiling it's kind of like a community of people. Like, everybody rides everything different, but it's a very special type of demographic in the sense that everybody doesn't like when they feel like they're kind of being ripped off or something, which I think is the big thing. It's a big show, but when half your vendors aren't snowmobile related, you're like, well, this is kind of a ripoff. And I agree. If they did a smaller show that was just the brands, your dealers, and your parts guys, I think that year everyone would be like, hey, it was a small show, but I saw everything snowmobiling that I want to see. But it's profit over credibility, I think, is what.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't blame these guys. They rent space X. They got to be able to fill it and to sell it, right? So I've been in the show business for the cars before, with Nissan Infiniti in a past life, and it's a challenge. But it's extremely expensive. I mean, I would think Ski-Doo is probably spending between space, and all the stuff moving, all the team, and they're well in excess of 80 to 100 grand probably someplace.
Yeah, I bet easily. A couple of chats came in here. Olive Garden Gnome says, thanks for the chat and the stickers at the show, Gary. Well, thanks for popping by the booth too and doing some espionage for me. He actually talked to South Simcoe there at the show, and then we knew we had to kick in the plan B at that point in time. Rob Overholt said he's looking forward to coming to Energy on Saturday.
Look forward to see you, Rob.
Yeah, and he needs a new jacket.
Me too.
Yeah, for sure. Great guy.
Awesome guy.
Yeah, Backyard Recreation. Furry says, well said, John Luke. Big investments made by dealers. He's looking forward to your open house this weekend. For sure.
Hey, Adam, you know what? I hope you can make it. Bring the little one too. I think I have a 120 left or 200. You probably already have that anyway. It doesn't really matter.
He did find one. Yeah. Sled for Kids. Good evening. And Josh was on last week. And Lepoinski says Energy has the best staff in the business. I agree with that. So Rob Overholt, he agrees too. Scott Bell wants to know how your inventory is on Lynx apparel.
So actually, it's so funny. Like, we had a gentleman come in today and bought, I think, 3 suits. He does have 3 Lynx, which is great. And one was for his wife or girlfriend, could be, I don't know. We won't say. It depends on what you're looking for. If we don't have it, we'll go get it. And if it means from another dealer, even out west, it doesn't really matter. We'll bring it in for you. So, Scott, if you want to send me a quick text. I don't know if you go online and if there's something you really like, send it over to me, and I'll make sure that the parts team can look after you.
Yeah, awesome.
It's tough to find Lynx apparel because they did not make a ton. Yeah.
And they made it late. Like I remember the first year
Yeah.
that Lynx came out, you were trying to get your hands on gear and it just wasn't happening.
There's only 3 dealers in Ontario that got it. We were one of them. But it was a set. You had to buy this. That was it. That's all that they produced. So we got that then. And since then we've been kind of replenishing. But Lynx is a very small portion of our portfolio. We are primarily, we sell maybe, I don't know, I'm going to say 5 to maybe 10 Lynx a year. I ride Lynx. I quite like it. Since the day it came out, that sled I think it's a beast. It's very industrious. I love that Lynx. And now that there's a new, there's new colors coming out. We do have a GLS coming in, which might be for me. The GLS Turbo. So I'm really excited about that sled. Saw it at the show on the weekend, so it's arriving this week, I hear. So we'll see.
There you go. Lepoinski said his daughter was there tonight and treated like gold when she goes to Energy.
She was, yeah. I saw her tonight. Yeah, she was.
Excellent. Was she in there buying a new sled for Austin and Jason?
I think she ordered 3 sleds.
Sell her 3 sleds. All right.
Yeah, I heard it. I got tipped off that Austin may be looking for a backcountry, so you might be able to make a sale on that one you got.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say something because there's a lot of really nice comments, and I really, really appreciate everyone who's piping in saying that we do a good job. I want to share something because recently we had, and it's unfortunate, but we had an off-road gentleman who kind of went rogue on us. I just want, if you read some of the Google reviews, I want everyone to know this. There's a lot more.
I did too.
There's a lot more to this story, and it's quite unfortunate because as a team, one thing we pride ourselves in is going to BRP real hard and trying to take the consumer side as much as we can. In this case, we absolutely we could not. There's nothing we could do. They denied the claim 8 times, not once, not twice, 8 times, for very good reasons, which I can't talk about here. But it's really unfortunate. And he kind of just went around and asked everyone and bashed us on social media and all that stuff. I will tell you, and Adam, I know is online, and if other dealers are online right now, they would appreciate what I'll say. But it is absolutely unfair that we don't have a way to defend ourselves, unfortunately. But I know in my heart that my team has done everything they could to get the guy some compensation. And believe me, we made him an offer that nobody would refuse, but they are trying to get something out of us that, unfortunately, from an ethics point of view, we won't do.
Yeah,
we don't cheat the system. We will work real hard for our customers always, and take care of you and provide you goodwill where we can, 100% of the time, every time. But when the big manufacturer is telling us, no, there's no way, and here's why, the reasons were very good. They're very just and very fair, and we do have to comply. Otherwise, we don't want. I don't want to lose this dealership. I love it too much. So
for sure.
So I really appreciate the good feedback. It means a lot to me. It's unfortunate how impactful those negative reviews can really hurt you, and how it can impact your team because they work so hard at it. They take really great pride in it. So thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to comment too much on it because I know probably what you've gone through on it. But when I was originally sent the Facebook post from somebody, I actually just scrolled through the guy's profile. I creeped it. You didn't have to go down too many posts to see what happened to that machine. And that's all I'll say.
That's exactly what happened to that machine. And in the end, unfortunately, I refuse to cheat the system. We will not do it. And we're very, very proud of that because we stand behind BRP. But we will, for the sake of a customer who's been here for a long time, and let it be known that this customer has never been here for service whatsoever. We still try to make it right and to do some different things for them but they chose to take the unit away the way it was. We don't allow it usually, but that's what they asked for, and unfortunately, they I think that was a bit of a trick. We got tricked.
That was odd that it was sent back in pieces, and I went that's what made me start thinking about it, because nobody would ever do that. You guys would not do that under normal circumstances. I can imagine how that played out, but we won't say any more. I mean, it's not a topic to air on, dirty laundry on either side from,
absolutely not.
You've got love here. And I mean, it's everybody I've sent your way, and everyone else, Corey and anyone else that's sent references to Energy has come out with gleaming reviews. So
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I see that you put the Livia's food truck there. So yes, our friend Sylvia and Mike are going to be here treating everyone to their delicious treats. It's going to be a little colder, I think, on Saturday by the sounds of it. I just have the weather network on the other screen, and but it's going to be great. It's going to be they do a great job. So we'll have the spidooch and a couple of other stuff for you guys. So anyway, you'll see. I may also have another sweet treat, but it has to do with maple syrup. You'll have to be here, and all I can say, it's going to be something kind of like from Quebec on ice. I'll leave it at that.
Sweet. Oh, I know. I have an idea there what you're doing. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad it's going to be cold for that reason. It can't be too hot. So.
Yeah. William McCleary says he's never heard anything negative about Energy Powersports. It's all good. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Greg Kelly says, I didn't know Gary Drew started the session so early this fall. Love to make it Oakville this weekend, but off to Mattawa to hunt. I'm assuming John Luke doing online for apparel.
So we do apparel will be selective online, and here's why. It's a great question, but I'll tell you what happens with apparel online. The easiest thing to sell online is a life vest. And though those are fairly easy, when it gets down to skidoo jackets, some people don't understand that there's tall version, and from people also forget that they're going to put layers, so they order the large when they need the XL. A lot of returns, and the returns is the biggest issue. When you go to Walmart and you see the pack of returns and all that stuff, well, it's much the same here sometimes. And so we got to be very careful. We're choosy on what we sell online. But again, if anyone needs something specific, you tell us. We'll take it off our floor and ship it to you. That's not a problem. If you don't see it on our store online, we will absolutely ship it to you.
Right on. Perfect. And then there's another slide here. We have the guests and vendors that you have showing up.
Right. So I was very lucky. Not last weekend, the weekend before that, I rode with Elvis Storko. So Elvis has been a customer here. You may know him as a Canadian Olympic World Skating Champion, and he is terrific. But his real passion is racing cars, and he races cars in Europe, here in Canada. He's absolutely awesome. If you ever want to have him one day, by all means, we'll. But he's an off-road guy. He's an X3 guy. And we got together with him last year for the first time with CATFA, the Kawarthas ATV Club. Awesome people. And we went riding, and then at the end there was a bit of a soiree with some prizes and stuff like that. But we rode all day, so I had the chance to do that a couple of weekends ago with him. So he'll be here with his wife Gladys, and they do something. It's a charity called the Kibble Project. It's for nonprofit. But it's to raise money, provide food for stray dogs and all that stuff, and all kinds of things, whether it's bowls for the dogs and the cats and animals and all that stuff. These people are phenomenal animal lovers, and they just do a great job at that. So they'll be here. Corey Brock, representing Hillsburg Snow Roamers, will be here. And Corey is obviously an ambassador for QUALIPIECES as well. He'll be a busy guy. You and Drew will be here as well, which we're excited to have you broadcast live from here. Fintrail Outdoors, the guys from Fintrail will be here so that's catering more to our mud guys. But they do also some winter stuff, which is kind of cool. The rep from Gamma will be here with a few parts and accessories, stuff that we don't really carry on the Ski-Doo or Lynx side or Can-Am. And Triton Trailers will have a few trailers with them as well. So then there's a few other things that will be live. Of course, we have the live remote 94.7 FM country radio will be here. So if you listen to country radio right now, you may hear me in my annoying French accent voice. I apologize for that in advance. But it's what helps me breaks through the clutter is what my wife tells me.
That's great. The French cowboy.
What's this darn tootin' Canadian saying?
No, that is not at all the accent. You don't have it.
Yeah. And it's an 879 Cranberry Court in Oakville, Ontario. And you follow them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you'll see posts like daily on things going on. And they're I know Dave Collins, one of their staff, is posting constantly. Corey says on 680 News Radio also.
Yeah, we're on 5 radio stations right now. So we're yeah. The good news is I only have to record once, but then I disperse the but yeah, it's we're very much present. And there's a reason for that, and hopefully towards the tail end of this season, we'll be able to make some certain announcements as to why we're as busy as we are, and we've been extremely busy on some projects. But there's a big project we've been working on for now over a year and a half. So that's super exciting. Looking forward to that. Hey, I see someone talking about the lodge session. Do you have any, can you drop a few hints?
Yeah, it's the same weekend as last year. I'm going to send you a note on it because I know you had booked a room last year, a couple of rooms. So the people that were booked in are getting first dibs again, as we did previous. So I hadn't heard anything from Greg, so that's why I just asked him about the lodge sessions. But I've had quite a few. I think we've got like 14 confirmed so far. If he's saying 2 people on him, that puts us up to 16. I know you've got. I think you took 4 last year, so don't worry. We've got you in mind.
Yeah, as long as you don't put it in the same weekend as club or club BRP,
that's the thing.
right?
It is the family day weekend, and it's a Friday to Tuesday, so it's gonna be. And club is that Monday. It kicks off the Monday, so
yeah. So the good news is this year club is not. It was supposed to be a live club. They're gonna do it virtually. So we may have an opportunity. Okay.
Oh, cool.
And so if we'll have to take a look at the dates, and not that I want to kind of make a promise or anything, but if club happens to be while we're away, then I'd love to take a look at to do the reveal live from the lodge.
Yes, that would be awesome.
And we can do some different things, and not that I don't want to kind of share our secrets to everybody online, but I think you want to be able, if those stars are going to align, you will want to be there because we're going to do some special things.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. And with all the snow we're going to get, it's going to be terrific.
Yeah, I mentioned it last week, and I haven't really put it out there because it's going to fill up. It was more than sold out last year. We had only 6 or 7 rooms that weren't ours in the tower, and I just want to make sure that people aren't left out. I know 2 years ago there wasn't any space for Energy to come in because he had sold off 13 or 14 spots.
But it didn't get canceled, or
what's that?
Didn't get
last
canceled
year.
anyway?
Yeah, no, that was 2 years ago, and then last year it got canceled, and we were representing. So this year we're all excited. I'm hoping it comes back. We got a bigger crowd from Wisconsin coming this year, so it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, if we can get those same numbers that we were talking about last year again, it's going to be a hell of a time. You guys don't want to miss it. Even just the 10 or 12 of us that went to Quebec, we made it like a party of 40 when we were there. We made the most of it. So yeah, we'll Everybody that was signed up will get the details sent to you first. I may have, if you saw me at the show and I recognized you, I may drop some hints about that if you brought it up in conversation. But yeah, we take care of the originals, the guys that are here every night talking to us, and
yeah, we want to make sure that you're all taken care of. You know, and everybody's welcome to come in. And if we don't have room, we'll make sure that we can put you somewhere in the area if we can
pitch a tent. You get one of those tents that mount on in the bed of a pickup truck.
Mike Ashby, he chimed in here. He says, just getting on now. He says, thank you to everyone who purchased an Ultimax belt at the Toronto Snowmobile Show. He was busy. He was a busy guy. I had to pop by his booth a couple times before I could finally get a hold of him, you know? So
I see a guy asking, can guys from Quebec go? Come on. I mean, I'm from Quebec. I'm going.
Yeah, that's right. Who is it? Is it Outdoor Hobby guy?
Chris Watson.
Oh, Chris Watson. Absolutely. Chris, you're going to have a blast if you come. Outdoor Hobby guy, I think he was talking about coming as well. And he's from Quebec. Maybe you could carpool with him, you know?
Yeah.
So
no, for sure. Hey, you know what? I mean, it's different riding in Ontario. I don't know where Chris is from. Different riding for sure here. But the community is terrific. It really, really is terrific here in Ontario. So just different. Although I do have it, I've promised too many people now, including Corey Brock and Neil Owen, that I would do a Quebec trip with them. And so this year we purchased a big trailer that can fit 4 or 5 sleds. And La Ranch. So okay, that's where you're from. I see. So you're
that's nice ride.
Yeah. Very cool. But we gotta make a Quebec trip for sure. But I've been able to save my money over the last couple of years because I couldn't attend the lodge session. So that just means we're gonna have to buy 2 rounds of drinks versus 1.
Excellent. That sounds good. We'll take you up on that.
Good thing that savings account hasn't.
We had and we're going to kick off with probably we'll do the poker run on the Sunday. Some people have expressed still coming in Friday to Sunday night. We're probably, Drew has school until Friday, so we're going to do Friday till Tuesday, and then where we end up from there. That's to be determined.
Yeah. So if you guys remember, it was originally Thursday night to through to Monday. Tuesday. No, yeah, you're right. Monday morning.
Yeah.
But under my request, just so then I don't have to blow 2 days off of university, I've convinced him to move it to Friday to Tuesday morning.
I think that's huge BS. I don't think we can. Just, you know what? You got to do university years. You go do that, and then we'll wait for you next year.
Yeah, that's right. This is 4th year engineering, John Luke. We need him to do well. So when he's working for BRP and he's designing the Gen 6, it's going to be good. There's no corners cut.
I got news for you guys. They're beyond Gen 6 at this point. They are
for sure. Gen 12, right?
Yeah. They are way ahead. There's I don't know what this club will be like coming up. Of course, we want to take care of model year 2025 first. But BRP has kept a lot of secrets. They held back last year, and I think that was super responsible. Really good on them.
I think so, coming from that year, and you know what, but they did launch that new front end and ski, and that's the spindle and front end. That's a game changer, really. I can't wait to ride it.
For sure, and they've tweaked a couple of things here and there. The backcountry I'm excited for it, the turbo and the backcountry. So I got one of those coming in this year.
Right on.
We've ordered 6 sleds for the store, so we can try different segments. So it should be fun. Yeah.
Sled 5-1 that says, "Damn it, I spring checked too soon."
No, spring check every year.
There's never a bad time. You just got to jump in when you can, right?
Are you getting any of the Lynx Brutals to try the 900 Turbo R crossover?
No, I ordered the GLS.
Okay.
That's another one of my that's going to be in my stable. But no, I think we got 2 Brutals on order for customers.
Nice.
So we'll
I thought those were just so cool because it's like what a crazy thing, the big 4-stroke 900 turbo and basically a kind of mountain sled off trail crossover.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it'll be. the guys who were riding, they're pretty big guys. Come to think of it, but they're that's precisely what they've been waiting for a couple of years ago when they came out in 2022, and of course, they were not available then. But so I got a GLS with a Turbo R coming in, so I'm excited for that. Maybe I'll loan it to Neil Owen to try.
Right.
Yeah, those are sleek looking sleds. That's my favorite sled that they released, I think, or in terms of their colorway and the
colorway is gorgeous on it. And frankly, I'll be honest with you, like, to me, it was really about that first. It's what really struck a chord, and then the specs on it are pretty cool. So I got one 850 coming up in turbo and two 900 turbo R's.
Nice.
Sweet. Outdoor Hobby Guy has a question. He said he'd love to know what your take is on the Vibe communication system. He heard they aren't restocking them. Are they selling? What are the pros and cons?
So, great question. I will tell you that I did not get a chance to try it last year because of the season we had. I put specifically for me, my season last year was all of 88 kilometers. It was an epic disaster. Every time I wanted to go up, there was not enough snow, and I ended up actually going on my own. Actually, that's not true. I went twice, once with Corey Brock, and I put a total of 88K. It was just a disaster. So at the time, we had kept all of our Vibe system for our customers. We sold out pretty much of everything, and so this year I want to try it. So they've got my helmet here, and they will upfit them to the sled that's arriving this week. So I can't give an honest opinion on it. I like Vibe for the on road. I've never tested it in the winter, so I really can't speak to that. And I also did not have it connected to the big screen, so it was just helmet to helmet on a past model year non-big screen on-road Spider.
Yeah. Now, what about his part that he heard they aren't restocking them? Is that just the local dealer? Like, he's in Quebec.
I don't know. I'll look into that and I'll get back to you guys, but not as far as I'm concerned, but I'll take a look.
Yeah.
If there's a difference between being back order and not stocking them, because BRP is putting a lot of efforts in their helmets for to fit Vibe. So I don't know about that, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm surprised if they weren't going to continue with it, because they had, like you said, they're custom made for those helmets, that Advex,
Yeah,
like
they put a lot of money in R&D for that specific device, so they want it to work.
Yeah, he said 2 major stores are saying that BRP isn't stocking them. So if you can look into that and get back to us, I can let everybody know. I can update them next week during the show, kind of thing. We'll find out. I'll talk to you at the open house. Yeah,
Sled 519 said and this is true, I forgot to mention it, but the oxygen helmet, it can be built with the Vibe in. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Well, let's look into that, and then we'll talk on Saturday. And yeah, I haven't heard anything on it or seen anything on it. And you usually hear people chatting about that, So
you know what? Yeah. Let's keep. I'm gonna just do a quick search on my on the bulletin boards real quick while you guys do this.
Yeah, for sure.
If I can get the answer, I'll give it to you right now.
Yeah, how is that for live?
Keep chatting while I search.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just seeing if we missed any other good comments.
No, I've been looking through them.
Sled Edge for Kids said, "I like your positive attitude towards this winter. That's a good compliment."
That's just his on-camera attitude about it.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. I believe this is going to be a great winter. Oh, and you know what? It's going to be a great winter, guys. This is true. This could not be any better. I'm sitting here right now, and there's a full load of Skidoo just backing up.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's almost perfect.
Yeah. This is great. Couldn't be any better. I love that. That makes me happy. Okay.
That's cool.
I'm going to the source. I have actually a ticket here, so I'm going to send someone from BRP about the vibe.
That's cool. Perfect. Yeah. They're going to say, how'd you know? How'd you get in on this one? Yeah. Corey Brock says he loves his Advex over his Oxygen. We heard all about that last year, me with my old Oxygen.
Yeah.
I love
him
the
with his
Advex.
cool- and him with his cool Advex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
man.
I do like it. It's different than Oxygen for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a cool concept. I think they took the old modular 3 and they've kind of perfected it into something that's cool like the Oxygen. I still love my Oxygen, don't get me wrong. You know. Yeah,
Plus, there's that guy that makes those really cool wraps for the Oxygen helmets, and I heard he doesn't have Advex ones ready at the moment. So
if I can only get my hands on an Advex to do a wrap, Corey.
You're slow. You're slow.
Yeah. I need to get an Advex and do like a
Oxygen's the
dime
best
bag wrap
helmet ever.
There you go.
Yeah.
We agree.
Chris Watson, he loves both. I love my Advex, but on those freezing days, the Oxygen is nice. Yeah.
So I was going to say the exact same thing. When it's really, really, really cold, Oxygen I absolutely love to have available. But I do enjoy the Advex. I find it light. I find it sporty. It's a good helmet.
Yeah. Sean Moser said the snow is coming. There was snow yesterday in Wawa, White River, and he heard Sudbury too.
Sudbury did have snow. I spoke to the dealer there this morning. Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna have the groomers out for us in February.
The groomers are out next week.
That's right. Why aren't the trails open?
Get your roller skis out.
And don't forget, while we're on the topic of groomers, the Ontario discount, OFSC discount, ends the end of this week, the 31st.
31st, yeah.
Quebec passes too. If you're on the fence about a Quebec pass, the price goes up November 1st on it as well.
Now, remember also one thing. I think you can get a gift certificate, correct?
For early? Ontario, you can. Yes, Quebec, you can.
Yeah. Quebec,
yeah.
Yeah. But Quebec is celebrating their 50th anniversary or something along those lines, and they have some specials on right now.
Yeah, it's not a bad price actually for a season's pass right now, and I think it goes up like Ontario in increments, but we'll see what happens on that.
Quebec, for those who may don't know, if you're on the fence about getting passes, they did cut the free weekend. So if you are planning a ride to Quebec this year, you think you're going to go more than once, and you're banking on that free weekend, maybe just getting a weekend pass, maybe look into getting your year pass with them. Just thought I'd mention that if anybody missed that.
And Chris Watson echoed that as well. Free weekends in Quebec are finished, which is sad because, I mean, we used to like that and it would bring us back a second time to spend more money there, right? So hopefully it makes them sell more permits. I'm sure it works. So by the end of the month, it's $415, jumps $50 November 1st. Yeah.
Hey, Gary, I got a question I need to ask you.
Sure.
It's important. And actually, I want to get it. And maybe what we do is we do a survey, but this is something that's been on my mind for some time. I think I talked to Corey Brock about it. And I've talked to Neil Owen about something similar in nature, but for a long time, I've been wanting to go to the mountain park out west.
Oh.
Coasters. And I'd be curious to find out if we're to arrange something as a group. Because see, to me, I think this is sort of the future of experiences, that we can enjoy. With some people online, you don't have to answer now, but I'm curious to find out if you can give us some feedback whether or not this is something you'd like to do. If we organize a group of 12, 15 guys to go out west, and I figured Adam would say yes, but you're not part of the survey, Adam. But if we could do like
Adam can be my plus. Adam can be my plus one.
Yeah, and we could arrange to have, because I was talking to Dave Nerona about this. So this idea came about 2 years ago, speaking with Dave Nerona, and I spoke to him again at the show this year. Anyway, very conceptual, but if people will be into it, it'd be interesting to find out. And they'll cater to the level of expertise. I'm not a mountain guy. I've never, other than really going up the ski hill when I worked in Banff, Alberta. That's 32 years ago specifically. So, other than that, I don't have experience in riding mountain, but I'd just love to experience it. It's a bucket list item for me. And if I'd be curious to find out if some people would be in to take that trip.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we could put together a gang. Drew's issue with 2025 is he's got a tight school schedule.
But the following year,
2026 he'd be able to go. Me, I don't work.
Well,
much.
So maybe
if you were putting this together to go, I'd try to make it work.
Well, we definitely try to make it work so you don't come, right? Because you're younger than us, you're more athletic and all that stuff, and you're going to make us look bad.
We just ride vicariously through him.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've seen him get stuck. Corey mentioned about getting stuck every 10 minutes and, 10 feet.
Yeah. Maybe when I get when I get my backcountry 146 turbo next year.
Yeah. We can flush something out. Like if you're going to get a core group and then bring in a couple of fans to go, that's something we can talk about.
Lodge Sessions 2026.
Sled 519 I was talking to on the weekend about it, and about mountain riding, because he goes out 1 or 2 times a year. He says, start your pull-ups and push-ups now. You're going to be working.
Oh, for sure. I think you need to get in shape for this. You need in relatively good shape, I'd say. So I'm not oblivious to that. That's a great point, 519. But it's just a thought. It's an idea. We're trying to get just to drive some different ideas to introduce some new experiences, a little bit different as we move forward. And it's all encompassing of this project we have. So.
Yeah. So if you are like my dad and you got a washboard stomach with a load of towels in, you might want to get that load of towels out of the washer sooner than later.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh man.
Now we'll talk more about that. That sounds exciting.
Oh, Neil Owen, look at that. He's a player. I love it.
He's in for mountain riding.
Yeah.
He was talking to the guys at the show. So he was talking at Grizzly Lodge probably. He was going to book something this year.
Isn't there a beginner?
Is there a beginner mountain? Yeah, it's like
no, there is actually. So Chris, just so you know, so I spoke at length to Dave Nerona, because this has been about 2 years in the making of just kind of conceptualize what it could look like. You have to basically tell them you got to cater to our group. Our group, and it's possible the group could be divided in 2. So a guy like Adam Furlong could go in group 1, which is expert or advanced, where the others got to start with the beginning of it all. But then on day 2 and 3, you could actually swap groups depending on your agility. So there's different ways you can do it. But apparently, like the mountain park, Carl Koosters does it next level. So yeah, I think it would be just a ton of fun.
I think what we'll do is we'll have a chat with Adam Furlong actually on the weekend, because he has a lot of experience with having groups like this of mixed riders come out there to ride in large numbers. So I think that's he'd be worth definitely leaning on for advice on how to structure this, and I think that's what we'll do.
If we have any Polaris riders with us, it's a good thing that Adams comes along, because he's a firefighter, right?
He's a Polaris rider. He's a Polaris rider too. I don't know whether you knew that or not.
That's probably why he's a firefighter. Now I understand. It's all coming together.
I'm chill. Meadow deep all day long, boys. Let's talk.
Yeah. Sounds good, Adam. I'm all in, man. I think it'll be fun.
Cool. That's cool. That's great. I get it. Zing. He says, Sled 519 says. That's cool.
Having fun. It's having fun. Yeah.
I think I just want to go because I want to see this guy mountain ride. I think that'd be an experience. I wouldn't even really have to ride. I think just sitting at the bottom of the hill watching this guy trying to do hopovers on a 165 would be entertaining in and of itself.
I'd be awesome at it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
call
It's
you
like when I went to
professor.
the. It's like when I went to the vintage motorcycle race, and all of a sudden he wasn't as fast as I heard from everybody else there.
I got second. Or third. You got second. I got third. I wasn't too far behind you, buddy. And I've got some 8 years on you, and I was on a slower bike. So
That's what they all say.
yeah. LaPointe
And you're
says
heavier.
furry rocks. He does for
Yes.
sure. Yeah. So no, that's very cool. That's very cool. No, I'm excited about the open house this weekend. It's going to be a blast. I wasn't able to make last year. I came early in the week, but it was fun. But the real fun is on Saturday. So that's
For sure. I mean, like, you know, the week allows us to bring the stuff. I mean, it was a busy day today because some people want to take advantage of the early deals. But Saturdays, you know, that's when we bring the food and everything else out. So it's always, you know, on our biggest open house, I think it was a Sea-Doo event. We did 565 people through the door. It was very busy. Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
we actually had the police call us because we had people parked on the street where they shouldn't be. So
That's great.
wow. Yeah. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's good for the economy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Actually, I'd rather hear you guys are too busy than.
That was good. But the Ski-Doo one, I affection a little bit more. I don't know. There's just something about, you know, the cold settling in. You know, winter's coming. Sleds, you know, albeit the shortest season we have of everything we sell, it's and I've said that to everyone. Many of you have heard me say this. It's the most thrilling product, I think, that we sell. It really, really is. And people that don't ride cannot really understand it. It made, you know, it's difficult to wrap your head around the feeling of snowmobiling, but you know, and maybe I have a hard time wrapping my head around it as much. I have, in the last 5 years, as I became a dealer, I've ridden less than I have in past years. But I think that's part that it comes with the territory when you're a dealer. But this year I've promised myself that I would be enjoying life a little bit, because this is what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's you have to enjoy life. You only have one life to live, and it's precious. So you got to make the most of it.
Absolutely. No better words spoken. That's for sure. Yeah. Cool. Do you want to get into some fan photos? I know you got some short time here today, so you just let me know when how much we can steal you away today.
Let's do it. Well, I don't know. It's 8:08. My wife's not waiting for me, so let's go.
Yeah. Just put it on airplane mode and just.
That's the technique. Hold on.
You're not married.
I already ran the fast track billboard, so we'll just get right into the fan photo. So just let me grab. Just let me grab it here.
Do the switcheroo.
Yeah, I'm only on one monitor right now, so it's a little bit tougher to do here.
There we go. Look at you still got.
There we go. And here I'll just that one.
See, you know what? Maybe it was the mountains that inspired me. I don't know. I just.
I think it was maybe it was all the Coors Light cans
and the snow, the gentle snow falling in the background. How can you not get in the mood on this, right? So,
I tell you, I'm in the mood. I don't know if anybody else is in the mood, but man, oh man, I can't wait for the season. I'm excited. I'm giddy about it.
Yeah, this Chris Watson sent me in, and he says, "Hey Gary and the gang, well, I just got back from the Ski-Doo shop, and I went a little crazy at the sale. May have to sell the house," he says, and he laughs. Anyway, here's a few shots from the end of our season. We had a Jamaica day on the lake, lots of jerk chicken and patties. He's from the LaCrue Snow Chasers, Chris Watson. This is what snowmobiling is all about right here.
Yeah.
Like, look at this, John Luke.
Hey, so just maybe you can answer it. Chris, is this you in the picture? I assume it is. It'd be kind of weird if you took a picture of a random guy.
Oh, he might have. He's got a lot of friends, right?
Yeah.
He always sends in pictures all year. There's a great shot on the lake.
Yeah,
you know,
Quebec cottages.
I love this. Those. Yeah, I love this. And cooking again there. It's pretty awesome. There's a jerk chicken station. That's what the yellow tag says. But isn't that an amazing feast?
Wow. That's a buffet in on the lake itself.
Yeah, for sure. And even the people with the heavy sleds arrived.
Yeah.
The ice must have just been thick enough.
But I love the Jamaican flag up there as well. That's very cool. What a meal. Yeah. Look at that. Jamaican gear on in the background. It's pretty great.
What lake is that?
I'm not sure. He can chime in. He's in the chat. Love all the trailside barbecue ideas. It's absolutely great for the clubs, Josh says from Sledhead for Kids. It totally is. He showed some pictures last year of barbecue on the trail, which is really cool. Yeah. I love that feeling. You just never get time, you know, like Drew and Mike Cardy and I, we had a trailside barbecue back during COVID, and that was one of the coolest things I've ever done. You know, you just got to take the time out of your day to do it. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Jackson
that's a
Furby,
cool picture.
Yeah, Jackson Furby sent me this picture in, and this is my first Catalyst picture in fan photos. So thank you for that, Jackson. That's pretty awesome. And 600 SeaTech there overlooking the city and the mountains. That's pretty wild.
It's the 146. He must really love breaking out the shovel.
Yeah, love it. It was sad not to see them at the show this year. I mean, we'd seen them at Heydays, and
the Heydays booth was awesome. They had the dash all up.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. They had the dash up, and you can mess around with the gauge on it. Yeah, I love their Heydays booth, and I'd never seen an 858. Like opening up the side panel of a Catalyst. If you haven't yet, and you're at a trade show, and you know that it's not someone's personal machine, you can open up the panel on a 600 or an 858. It is completely not like what you've seen from any of the manufacturers. And because you kind of question, how did they get the pipe to fit in that narrow front end? Well, they didn't. It routes to the side and then goes all the way around to
it's all upside down.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
They're
good
weird,
engineering.
They're weird sleds like the old Firecats were. But yeah, this is what you're laughing at. Wisco says he's a little late, but here you go. Haha, summer of buying sleds, mostly for himself. He bought a 120. He bought a $40 Wildcat. It was all locked up. And he bought an $800 pontoon boat. You know how it goes. He bought a few sleds over the summer. What's new there? And well, he just repeated that. So, but he made someone happy there. That's for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? And there's a couple of his finds in the background there. There's a 650 that was C solid.
$40.
Yeah, $40. They have, I was telling you, John Luke, like they had giveaway sleds down there. You know, when I was at Heydays, I couldn't believe the finds, you know. And here's,
I want to go next year, but I want to go over a number of days. I hear it's pretty good. So
yeah,
we're planning on doing the 2 days next year. And we're kind of trying to get like an idea of if we get a couple Airbnbs or one massive one, how many people we can drag from Canada.
The list was starting to grow. But this is
I don't know who you're going with, but
this is a 1960 ski boost on the right there, and then that other sled is a 65 Olympic. Yeah. So the Massart bought both of those. The 65 was for someone else, but yeah, it looks great.
So yeah. I tried to buy a vintage sled a couple of days ago. Just it didn't pan out. There was a 69. Could not. It was too slow. It's so difficult to find, you know. And in Canada, they're more expensive in Canada than you are in the US for sure.
They are, and they're fewer. They're fewer.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And that's the thing. I think someone I was talking to was actually from the US, was at the booth on the weekend, and we were talking about sleds and shows, and he said, yeah, there's farms, because they don't have good winners. They used to have good winners, and the old Olympics get parked in a barn and they're mint condition, and they're never see the light of day. Yeah. Where here we've just ridden them into the ground because we've always had good winners, right? So, but it doesn't drive the price up at all. They still have very good. They give them away there, you know. Lots of inventory. I guess it's a kind of a demand and surplus thing, right? Supply and demand.
Now, I don't even know where you get an engine for a pontoon boat for $800, but this guy got a full-on mom chaser for $800. Get out of here! He told me that when we were hanging out at the Airbnb, and I was actually getting mad at these guys, telling them the deals they're getting, and then we're talking about vintage dirt bikes, and they're like, oh, look at this right down the road from here. It's like the guy just wants it off his property, and it's like a brand new like vintage RM or KX. And it's like, what is going on in the States? It's like do they not know how to value things properly? I guess maybe maybe it's us. Maybe we just overvalue our toys. But,
yeah. Oh yeah. Then that's the thing. Massart says he loves my vintages, but you got to be quick to buy them though. Yeah.
Oh,
Wisco, that's a chick magnet. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All the mommies love the pontoon.
And we had Bullwinkle at the show on Sunday. Well, it was all weekend, but then we hung out on Sunday, on yesterday. But he was there all weekend, and everybody was sending me in photos. And Sled 519 took a photo of his son here sitting up on a good time, and his son was getting sick of waiting for us chit-chatting for minutes on end. And I said, just go sit on the sled. You're more than welcome to hop up on there if you want a more comfortable spot to sit than the aisle. So it was a lot of fun. And then Massart says that he had a great weekend kicking off another season of podcasts. Gary, even the daughter got involved now. It's been the summer of 90 sleds and gear, he says. So there he is watching last week's episode, the baby in hand there. And this is some of the gear he's picked up. That jacket is killer. I think Jinxie will be jealous of that jacket. That's for sure. I was
going to say that screams Jinxie.
Yeah, it does. Right. And get this, John Luke. See this sled?
Oh,
a 97 670 for $100 US. It has reverse and it runs great.
Yeah, we're going and we're bringing cash.
Yeah,
I'm bringing a trailer to Heydays. We're bringing. Yeah. I'll pay for gas.
That wasn't from Heydays, but that was one of the local buys where he is. Right? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So,
hey, I have some answers for you on the Vibe system.
Oh, great!
So this is straight from BRP. Absolutely not. But demand is exceeding expectations. So they're behind a little bit, but no. And
so
I love you have them.
So that's the thing.
I mean, what the person who's responding, our rep, he's actually really upset. He says, "Where are you hearing that?" He thinks that maybe a dealer trying to sell other stuff, maybe. But
could be.
You'll have something in stock, right? But absolutely not.
Hobby guy, get on Energy's online store. Go to their websites, energypowersports.ca.
Should be there.
Store, you can order them. He'll ship it right to you.
Yeah, should be there. But absolutely not. They're not getting out of Vibe. In fact, and it's funny because my nephew works with BRP, and there's a lot of stuff happening around the big screen and the communication and all that stuff. So lots of good stuff happening there.
Yeah, it's all integrated. It's really nice.
More and more. Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, so I think I'll get into some of the photos here. The next photos are all mine, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what the MUDBRATS did, Snowbrats did this summer. So starting it off, this was basically the first major thing we did. Mike Gulitz took us out to Skora trails that are just north of Barrie area. Loaned him an XCW 300 for the day, and I took the old iron out, and we rode with a couple of his crazy buddies and had a hell of a time. Great trail system. It was a fun day. There's videos on our channel and videos on his channel, Mike Gulitz, the Motorsport channel, if you want to check out more about that. I don't really know what to say about that day of riding. It was a blast. It was fun to kind of get like the first real trail experience too on a organized trail system.
Yeah, it was cool. That was the kickoff this summer, and it was going to be an epic summer. And we had big plans, and then something happened. And if you see that,
that's Polaris.
That's my face. That's my face there. You see the peak of my hat, and this is my leg. So you can see a body in there. Had a little bit of an issue with a fire, and I'm glad that the mosquitoes were bad because I was fully clothed and my hoodie you can see over my head, and yeah, I had a little issue tearing down an outhouse, and I put some gas on the wood that we put in the hole, and I tossed a fire cube on it, and I missed the pile of wood with the gas on it, and something in my brain wasn't firing that day, and I just reached right in to relight that. It wasn't.
Yeah,
I hadn't even been drinking.
Oh,
that
come
day.
on.
No, seriously, it wasn't until after. Yeah, and I reached in, lit the cube, and it lit. The cube lit very well. So that put me out of the show for
out of
a
doing
month or so.
And then his hand was all swelled. He could barely get gloves on, but he's fine now.
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
It looks good.
So All-Terrain TV asks, is that an XT350? Friend has rebuilt XT600. Both great bikes, but that's a DT 200R. So the 200 two-stroke made from 84 to, I think, the late 90s. I want to say 98 was the last year. Great little bikes, impossible to find for cheap now. They're just kind of heavy. That's all for the power. But so this was a picture. I did a few solo rides up at the cottage after his little happy injury. So this is just some, I don't want to say Crown Land OFSC trails that I stumbled upon. We had a 75 DT250.
Yeah. Gary blew up the outhouse. We've all done it.
And now we're getting into the later bit of the summer. So Mike gives Dad here a call and is just talking about about the vintage race and wants to know more about it, and said he wanted to sign up a couple bikes. Him and his friend were going to come out, and goes, hey, give the phone to Drew. What is he riding? And he goes, well, he's riding nothing. He doesn't have anything to ride. Don't have another bike. And goes, give the phone to Drew. And I pick up the phone. He's like, yeah, I might have a bike I could throw together for you. Don't know if it's going to last the whole weekend or the whole race, but I'll piece together a bike for you. And this is his piece that he put together. This is a 1991 KX 125 little ripper of a bike.
The Killer Cucumber.
The Killer Cucumber, as he aptly named it. Was a mint
bike. I've
never done any racing. He's done the vintage race a few times. So the first day's cross country, and
it was a 90.
It was a 90. Okay, sorry, it was 1990. Went out on cross country and basically in tandem with my dad, because we were in the same class with those bikes, and ended up getting a second place finish. He got third place, so that was a shock. We had one small incident with that 1990, and it was that in the second heat for cross country, the bike got a little louder on lap 3 of 4. I had the whole silencer exit off the bike. The very nice gentleman organizing the event picked the pipe up for me, but finished out the race, got second place overall. He got third. And then I went up to Mike and I said, hey, would you mind if I sign myself up for motocross tomorrow? And he basically just said, go ahead. And we paid the $20 and went out and raced moto. This is pictures from the cross country day. Sasquatch Vintage Racing came out and took photos, and I for free distributes all the photos out for everybody. So that's pretty cool that they do that. There's some pictures of the Killer Cucumber absolutely getting it. Yeah, there you go. And then on day,
what's that?
Was that your foot down?
Your foot's down a lot in the forest.
Oh yeah,
I've seen that.
Getting a little sideways.
Yeah.
And then on day 2, I line up for Moto X and for the sportsman class. So it's no big jumping. It was my first ever time doing motocross entirely. So it was just the sportsman class. So you can jump, but you can't do doubles, triples over tabletops or anything. But you still have to rip. There was a few fast bikes. I was racing against. It can be anything up to 2007. So there was a guy on an 06 or an 05 125 CR, and then an 03 YZ 250. So we're talking. I'm on this steel frame 125 racing against aluminum frame bike. So it wasn't too easy of a task. I rode the balls off that bike as hard as it could ride, and ended up coming on top and ended up winning. So I guess that was a little bit of beginner's luck there. And there's me with my prizes: a Milwaukee Pack Out tool set and a Milwaukee Fuel 3/8 cordless ratchet. So I came out with some great prizes from that event. It was an absolute blast. And then at the very end of that day, they do one last ride called the GP. It's a fun ride. Everybody, any class, all bikes, could be mini bikes all the way up to the big dogs. You line up. It's like, I think there's probably 15 to 20 bikes in this race.
I went in that one.
He went in that one
well,
too. Yeah, you ponied up your extra money, and I decided, you know what, I can jump the bike. I'm going to try jumping this bike, and that was it for the front and rear shocks on that bike. They weren't long for the world at the start of the race, and I pretty much completely finished off those forks and whatever. But Mike's cool. I would love to just keep. I'll never stop thanking him for being able to have that experience on that bike, and it's now got me the bug. I got the itch on motocross now, and looking for vintage MX bikes. So, but what a beautiful bike that is! It's so good.
Who you kidding? That was a good bike.
Yeah,
it wasn't a great bike. It was a good bike. And the fork seals were leaking. It would drip oil on the front disc brakes. So you had to wipe the disc brake up every race.
I hit a tree I actually ran into a tree on the first race because I went to grab the front brake and it did nothing.
But it was great. We were so thankful to Mike Gleach for loaning us the bike and putting Drew on the track. And it was such an honor for Drew and I to ride and race together. And Mike got fourth, and we did second, third, and fourth. So the Team Motorsport channel and MUDBRATS channel came out, and we rocked.
And I wish I had. He also got a good prize too. He got a Milwaukee Pack-Out cooler bag, which is one of the. I love that. That's pretty sweet. But there's one thing I wish I had a picture of, and I forgot to include. It was the MUDBRATS Motorsport Channel compound, as I kept calling it. Mike Gulitz brought out the whole bike collection for the event. We had 4. What are they? 10 by 10 tents or 12 by 12? What are your tent sizes that you have? Anyways, it was 4 outdoor tents set up with 15 bikes under it. So it definitely caught the eyes of the spectators at the event and the other riders. And it was just what an awesome weekend that was.
Yeah, we can't wait till next year. It's going to be great. But yeah. So
moving on, we got our photos. We got a photo from Heydays. Probably everybody by this point who didn't go is sick about hearing about Heydays again. So I just got this little photo of us with our shirts on. QR code on the back that took you right to the podcast. It was a pretty good hit with people around the show. And it was funny. You'd be walking around and people thought we were some sort of like supporters or something involved with Heydays because they just saw like this group of 10 to 15 people with these bright yellow shirts on. So that was a pretty cool thing because we stuck out from the crowd and everybody saw us. It was a good time. That was a riot. We wish we would have done the 2 days, doing the, 13 and a half hour drive to go one day and then 13 and a half hours back was a long weekend, but we'll plan next year and we're planning on doing it for both days.
I'd do it all again in a heartbeat. We had so much fun on the way.
And we're going to go and we're going to plan for the swap meets. If you guys have never been, think about the Toronto Snowmobile Show. They claim they're the largest. The swap meets are 4 times the size. Just the swap areas. It's ridiculous. It's as far as the eye can see.
Yeah,
that's what you go for. And then not even mention the vendors' booths are 3 times the size. Like and it's all everybody comes out with the craziest stuff, and it's all the big dogs of the industry.
Yeah, you can't even compare. It's the new item area. It's not even comparable.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
moving forward. Now we're getting into the fall. Getting after it a little bit with some help from the Power Garage on a Wave Runner VX Limited. Did some wakeboarding on that too, and just was nice to have some after our boat had some small issues on the last weekend of the summer.
My boat's still broken.
So it turns, if you ever want to know how long you can go on your bad clutch dog after your reverse blows out, it's about 4 days before your forward then goes and chews the bottom end out of the boat. So
yeah, I think I had other issues, but yeah, my whole lower unit's done. I'm in the process of rebuilding it, and Adam Furlong's going to finish the job for me because I need some special tools to get the gears to all synchro mesh properly.
We're a couple tools, but we just don't have the special ones.
Yeah, it's something that like it's so expensive. There's so many components in there that like I don't want to mess it up. And I've heard about guys trying to do it themselves, and then they get maybe a summer out of it, and by the end of the year, the gears are blown out of it again. So
it's it's his 96 Starcraft Force One with a Force 120 on it. So you know what? It's amazing that boat's not had any more issues. It's one of the best running things we own in our fleet. So
it doesn't owe me anything, and it needs
a refresh. She needs some love.
Yeah, it does.
And here we are again, just down the trail from us. Turns out a 5-minute trail ride in the winter is a lot longer in the summer through mud and around trees, and getting stuck in some skag when you have to avoid down trees or some deeper creeks. And yeah, it's a grueling ride there on a motorcycle.
I have no problem on the Wolverine getting through those mud holes. I don't know what your problem was,
Yeah, it's a good time though, eh? Like, and there's Fred's place if you've been up in that's I'm blanking on trail D102B, going towards Port Sydney and heading up towards Huntsville in the Top D trail to Seguin. So great little spot just down the trail from us up at the cottage, and we love going there. And that's usually our turnaround spot, because by then we just are so sick and tired we just want to go back and have a drink. Yeah. And in my case, it was getting in the lake in 40 degrees temperature. So
yeah.
Then now this is the first time I pulled Bullwinkle out of the shop here, covered in a layer of dust, clothing, and they're in the process of potentially moving too. So there's a lot of just stuff that was buried on top of it, and I got her out and woke her up for the season. It wasn't too happy with its awakening. I don't think it wanted to get out of bed. It thought it still had 2 more months left. It's like, you guys put me through the ringer last year, taking me through a damn drive-through, and now what are you doing to me? So that's just me switching on some new QUALIPIECES roller skis and getting it all dialed in for the show that was this past weekend. Gave her a fresh cleanup, and I use the couple products I use, if anyone's curious, is I use Chemical Guys, but I also use the Bling Sauce products, which you can get now at Energy Powersports as of this summer. I recommend the hot sauce, which comes in the red bottle. It's a great all-in-one cleaner for plastic. You can use it on the metal parts of the sled. I polish it up with stuff like that. And then I can't remember the name. I think it's called conditioning sauce, which is the pink or purple bottle. And that's for the seat. And it smell. I don't know what the smell is, but it's one of the better smelling. It's one of the best smelling things. And I use it on the seats of the DT. I use it on my car seats in the Mazda there. And I use it on the sled seats too. And it just helps bring some of that color back to the seat.
It's good.
There's another picture of that. That's a screenshot from my Insta there with my new Milwaukee tool from the race too, coming in handy, getting lots of work done. I just told him today we were working on his truck today, and I said, this tool's been clean. I've been only doing like trade shows with it and a few smaller projects, and now I'm working on sleds and cars, and it's all greasy and dirty. I'm like, it was nice having clean, brand new tools while it lasted.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's us at the show with the QUALIPIECES and the why am I blanking? The B Power guys, which I have something over here, which I'm going to pull up
right now.
So I'm walking on the show with my good buddy. I'm shooting some video. I might have that edited, and I'm doing some edits for him now. So I might have that edited and up by the end of this week, which is just going to be all the B-roll and just me and my buddy going around to the show. I come back around, and the guy's got this in his hand. He goes, here, this will look good on your sled. So it's the B Power Heavy Duty Gen 4, Gen 5 bumper, color matched in lava red. And he just handed it over to me, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, just take it. We brought it to the show and figured it'd look good on your machine. So just got to get the hardware for it, but it's gonna look so killer, and
it's gonna be awesome.
It's a beautiful bumper with it all cut nice, and yeah, it's gonna help me for all those times I like to bash trees, and my front bumper already wasn't long for the world on that 2018. So I was really happy to see that they handed that over, and he's like, yeah, and your bumper looked a little loose anyway. So
we picked the rear bumper up at Heydays, and the front bumper, we thought we should have bought one of those too, but glad we got one. So,
and I got this little picture when we were rolling in. I want to get a snap. As you see, that's the Skidoo booth behind it with the comp. And I was like, we were going to see if we could maybe back it into the Skidoo booth, but there's a few too many sleds on that side, and I didn't want to piss anybody off. We were thinking they had the 120 sitting right next to a 600 Blizzard, and we're like, we could just pick that 120 up and move it off to the side, but there's too many people around to do that. So got this picture was good enough prize for me. It was cool to see it at the show. There's another little picture of it
parked in its booth. Yeah,
parked in its little spot for the days. It was just cool to see that at the show, and all the people come up and say. Apparently, when we weren't there, the guys from QUALIPIECES said there's guys just walking past her with and going, "Hey, that's Gary's sled," and that's just pretty cool to see.
That's wild.
And this is a couple of the fans that we saw. That's obviously a Lepoitsky 800R and his son Austin. Yeah, and they caught us right at the start of the show. I just had the camera rolling in the factory rec booth, looking at some things, and all of a sudden they come up, and he was wearing the Lodge Session sweater, and it was good to see him. They had a group of buddies with them too, and I made sure to give them a little tidbit on Lodge Sessions and told them to be ready for the info when it hits them.
Yeah, that's right.
So and we were talking. We were over at met him actually twice again. Met over at the U Sleds, and we were just talking about what's going on for this season. So he's talking about he's in the market for a couple newer sleds. So
yeah,
and this is one of your photos.
The photo shoots on Sunday were pretty awesome. We already seen one from Sled 519, but this is Temiskaming Snowmobile Club. She come over with their mascot teddy bear and sat him on the sled, and she said she likes to grab bottoms, and that's what happened here. That teddy bear got a handful, So
I'm just going to jump in here. So All-Terrain asked, what do you guys use to edit? He's learning DaVinci Resolve. Any tips on edit long GoPro footage? So he uses Final Cut Pro, which is obviously Mac only editing. Yeah. And I use Adobe Premiere through the Adobe Creative Cloud.
But Resolve's good too.
Resolve's good,
pretty close to Final Cut. And I'm not married to Final Cut. It's a lot. It's very labor intensive, and you need a lot of memory on your computer and free space. So I think DaVinci Resolve is a good one to stick with,
Yep.
And it's free, and it's got a lot of, it's a open source. So there's a lot of plugins you can get for it from what I know.
Final Cut is like, I don't know what it even is, $400 now. And Creative Cloud is, if you're not, like, I get a student discount through my university, so it's only like $25 for the year for all the Adobe apps. But I think if you're paying outright, I think you're $600 for the suite now a year.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's, so, but yeah, the free stuff is definitely the best way to go. But anyways, yes, that's what
I'm gonna post this picture tomorrow on Instagram for Dave Nerona, because the Dave Nerona, the sign behind there says it all. You deserve better,
Yeah.
Dave Nerona and MJ came over and they were messing around on Bullwinkle. That was a lot of fun. Always a hoot to talk to those two.
Dave Nerona, MJ kind of gave me the cold shoulder at the Skidoo booth, but I get it. You could see that the ambassadors by Sunday afternoon are just so beat from the days.
Yeah, I gave her heck for giving me the cold shoulder.
Thank you.
Don't worry.
I'll cut that from the video, MJ, so you don't have to.
All the bad mouthing, the shade you're throwing on her, you'll cut that out.
Oh, man.
So, and this is another a Quebec trail rider actually fell in love with the sled and was wanting to take it home. So, yeah, gave me a thumbs up there. And
so this is something I took a picture of. We're kind of in the way, but I wanted to get a picture because they actually had all the skis out with obviously Woody's Carbides on them to show like the different skis of what they actually look like. And it's the first time that I've actually got my hand on, like physically on a Pilot RX ski. And that's what we're seeing here. So if you can see you got that big double stepped keel. This has obviously got the Woody's, I don't even know what this is. It's a single bar with the cleaner thing on the front. But it's the nice big double keel of that. And I believe the next photo, and there's your normal Pilot X. So you can really see the difference in how taller it is. I was surprised that I'm blocking it, but my hand on that, of how big that is and how much, I think that's going to make a massive difference in that sled. It was kind of cool too. I didn't include the photo in this, but off to the side there, they also had the RX just mounted on the S module. So you could actually see how tall the spindle is and how the A-arm geometry is different.
It's pretty cool.
I'm super excited to take a look at that this winter. I think that's going to make such a big difference on these sleds. It's something that they've needed for years to just, they're amazing. There's nothing wrong with it, but now they're taking it once again. Skidoo, keep pushing that boundary, keep taking us to the next level.
And QUALIPIECES, all your favorite Carbides, the Adventure, the Traveler, and the TRAC is available. All the full line is available for the new RX ski, which is really cool.
And I've heard through the grapevine that the wheels, the roller wheels, will be in production and prototyping this season for it. They haven't got the wheels out, but they're going to be getting those wheels out for the customers, hopefully sooner than rather than later, because those are a great product as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Gary, I gotta pop out. I got a dog to take home.
No problem.
Tired.
No, that's great. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Jean-Luc, and we'll see you Saturday and look forward to all the updates throughout the week.
For sure. Follow us on social media. You'll get to know all about it, and see everyone on Saturday. Take care, guys.
Yeah, take care. See you on Saturday, buddy.
Thanks,
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep clipping along here. So this was at their booth. I thought this was really neat to show the different colors that they're offering. And the reason I wanted to get this screen cap from the videos I took was specifically to show the difference in that flare versus Neo Yellow. I've seen a lot of things on the various Instagram pages that I'm part of people being kind of, I'm not going to say if it was more confusion or maybe what the actual shade in comparison was, of people buying yellow accessories and then they get their flare yellow and it's such a shocking difference once they actually get it. So that's the best comparison right there. It's blocked by our banner, but there's a couple more. It doesn't really matter. There's a couple more colors. It's the Scandic and the other color.
Yeah.
And this is something I wanted to take a picture of at the show. I had a chance to talk to the gentleman that built it as well. This is an Aprilia RSV. I believe it's an RSV 1190 with a 137 timber sled kit off an EXC 450. And I walked up to the guy and I said, so what was the deal with this? Was it kind of just like you had a 450 laying around, an Aprilia, and I specifically said a 12 pack of Busch lattes, and he said it was more like two 2.4s, and they took a crashed Aprilia and then threw the EXC. Those are actually the EXC front forks on it, and then the timber sled kit, and made this monster. And I tried. He let me stand up on it too, and my legs are hitting the gas tank. I said, "How do you ride this thing?" And he goes, "Oh, usually the front ski is trying to come off the ground, so it's mostly a sit and lean forward, not really stand up." So pretty awesome little build that he did there.
Yeah, it's cool.
And this is something that everybody talking about not having the best deals on stuff at the show. This was in the Aberfoyle. I can't remember the exact dealership, but it's the Articat dealership down in Aberfoyle. And this is my friend came with me, was specifically looking for a jacket. Walk into this booth and $39.99 plus tax, which I mean, whatever, for actual winter snowmobile jacket. So it's actually a pretty nice CKX jacket. Sizes were completely picked by Sunday. The guy told me to work in the booth that by Friday, 2 hours into the show, all XLs were gone. Larges were gone by end of Saturday. And then all that was left was double X and medium and small. So luckily my friend's is a little more fun size than I am. So he can squeeze himself into a medium. But yeah, like $39.99 for all the sizes. Like if I would have been there on Friday, I think even though that I probably necessarily maybe not wear it riding, to have a warm jacket just to wear outside in the garage when I'm wrenching, I'd be like $40. Sure. Yeah. I'd change gear oil in that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And here's their the big end to the Yamaha legacy of snowmobiling. And I said it heydays. I said it again on the weekend. I said it's sad to see Yamaha because it's not more of it feels like less of a celebration. And every time I see it, it's more of an obituary of a brand that's been in the industry forever and made so many great changes. And I'm sure if you're a Yamaha fan, you know that maybe in these previous few years, it's been kind of just sad the way that it's fizzled out with not a lot of changes to the machine. But anyways, this is their final edition. This is 998 of 998 that is going to auction this February, which I think is a really cool idea. And it's in this crate, which makes it look like it's a kid's toy with the 1-to-1 scale, warning, large parts, the choking hat, I forget what it actually says. May incite extreme moments of joy is what that warning label says. And it's really neat. And on the backside, I didn't have a really good photo of it, but they have all the major advancements that Yamaha made to the snowmobiling industry over the years.
It's pretty cool.
So it's a pretty cool little package that they put together. And
so it's going to go up for auction for charity. I think this will go over $100,000. What do you guys think in the chat?
Yeah, we're kind of, maybe we should get a bet together because it'll be around lodge sessions. Maybe we should have a little pot we put together. I said around 50 to 60. But he thinks well over 100, and
It'll
maybe it
go.
will. Maybe
Yeah.
it will. Maybe there's enough fanatics out there for snowmobiling that, this will just skyrocket.
It's pretty cool. It's in like a box, and 998 of 998 of history. So it's I think it'll get some big numbers.
And who doesn't love seeing a snowmobile get up in the air? This guy was at Heydays as well, so it's pretty cool to see him throw down. I still think that it's so cool to watch them inside doing this, because when they get up that high to the ceiling, you can see the light of those fluorescent lights reflecting off their helmet. And
yeah, Lepoinski says 130 grand. I think it'd probably be easy.
So it's always cool to see freestyle snowmobiling.
Here's our friend Mike Ashby from Ultimax. We had a great chat with him, and he gave us a couple of brewskis.
And I loved this that they had on display, this whole setup. And he said the thing is with a lot of people with belts is, especially, and he said it's great for the industry that all these new riders came in over the pandemic and are really getting into the sport, but they don't even know what the snowmobile really runs like under the hood, because they're so new to it. They might not understand it. So he brought this out. This is some of you may recognize this as being a Polaris belt assembly. I believe that's what it was. It was a Polaris belt assembly. And it was really cool that he brought that out to have the primary and the secondary and show how it actually rolls on it, and give a really good demonstration of what the Ultimax belt looks like. And he talked to us for a while, and his booth was busy all day. And I hope that he sold a lot of people on the belts, because we'll keep saying it ain't snake oil.
No, it sounds like he did. Sounds like he had a good time.
These things rip.
Yeah.
And speaking of rip,
speaking of ripped,
our buddy Redneck's Dirty Hands had an amazing little setup. I just remembered I didn't include any photos of it, but he had his brand new sled build there, which is his SRX 700, but not the SRX 700 you might be thinking of. It's a modern Sidewinder with the SRX 700 motor that's been turboed with the stock Sidewinder turbo. And he said it's pretty much complete. He's getting the finishing touches on it to start it very soon. You can go over to his channel to view more about that. He's got the whole build up on there. It's a lot of redneck ingenuity to put it together, but the final product as it was sitting on the show floor was nothing redneck about it. It was serious. It's going to be a sweet little sled. It's a
lot of fun. So I grabbed a couple of cold Canadians from Mike Ashby, and I went over and we had a big cheers to him from PETA Rednecks and Dirty Hands. That was great. JP, look how happy JP is for his brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
JP and Billy was there too. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, and this is I'm gonna get the pronunciation right. So this was
It's
something I want.
Odes.
It's Odes. So I want to take a picture of this because I actually walked past this booth earlier in the day, and it was when we were walking back to QUALIPIECES after talking to Redneck's Dirty Hands that we went, what the heck is that? So another kind of CF Moto-like brand, I'm going to use the word, the Americans will like this, China. China has come over and they have said that they are going to make cheap ATV snowmobiles and side-by-sides to bring something new to the market for the people that can't afford these new sleds that we're talking 30 G's with accessories now, right? That don't want to spend that kind of money on sleds. They just want snowmobile. They want to ride. They don't need to spend all the fancy money. And CF Moto proved, I think, that these brands can be successful. So this is the sled here. I'm just going to do a quick rundown. We actually took some really good video with one of the guys there. But it's a 1000 cc V twin making about 90 horsepower. So it's not performance by any means, but it's a utility sled. It obviously, he said, as all these machines on the floor at the event were how they come. There's no accessories. It's how you buy it, is how you get it. So there's no extra money tacked on. He said this as it sat right here was 17.5. And that's not for this year though. That's going to be for next year. However, they do have ETVs if you want to go to the next.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the gauge. So yeah, another thing about it's digital gauge. It's got all the bells and whistles of a modern sled, really. Obviously your heated hand grips. I believe this one had a heated seat. One thing I really did like is from factory, it has onboard 12-volt cigarette and onboard USB, which is pretty cool to see modern machines from the factory.
But I'm sure the name brand utility sleds have that as well, right?
Oh,
That's
yes,
the thing,
sorry,
they-
yeah,
they're-
the new Skidoos, yes, all the new Skidoos, obviously, if you have the digital gauge, have all that built in. I think that all of them do also have the 12 volt as well to run accessories off of, because like if you're running ice drills
and
stuff.
that's the thing. It's like it is lower price, but not by much. You're within 3,000 to 5,000 of a BRP.
Yeah,
And it's like you're buying a sled with no history, not a very big dealer network. That's what they're trying to set up. But it is impressive to see how good it actually is as far as, and even their ATVs, like here's a good shot of it. Total ripoff of Can-Am, I think. You know, like look at that rack and
it's the last generation Can-Am is
yeah.
really what it is.
Even the gauge almost looks like a 10 1/4, but it's smaller. It's very like the gauge might be 10 1/4, but the actual screen in there is only maybe a 7-inch. But you know, kudos to them if they can make it work. It's you know, especially coming as a newcomer in the snowmobile market, he said they're only going to have one line of sled, and that's the one you see. It's the Workhorse. And yeah, I thought it was cheap at first, but then we did some checking on the actual MSRP for Skidoos, most comparable. And even with the accessory of the rear seat and some toys on it, you're still about, you know, 21, 22.
It's I'm gonna just what that sled really is, to be comparable directly to, with that gauge, with the rear seat, and it also has a rack, is an Expedition SE, which was the spring order sled for this year, which also comes with the back seat, all that stuff from standard, the 10.25-inch gauge, and the 850 E-Tech motor will run you $20,400, and this is $17,500 is what they want to have this priced at. And obviously the biggest difference is I was looking at these shocks. They have no branding on it. It's obviously made by them. They're just high pressure gas, where the Skidoos you're getting KYB Pro 36s and Pro 40s still. So like that's the biggest thing that I was kind of at the show I was unimpressed with. I'm impressed. I you know what? Maybe this brand has seen the company that they've been around, says, for 30 years, making, from what I could see, golf carts and from China.
They started as an engine manufacturer for other things like golf carts and other power sports, I guess you could say. And then they just kind of transitioned into ATVs and things like that. So
good on them for wanting to bring it to market, but I think that it's not going to be an easy sell. The quads I didn't ask them about the quads, but they had like an XMR type. They had 2 side-by-side with like full HVAC and all this. I didn't ask about pricing on those, but you know, CF Moto definitely proved that you can do it. And I think if anybody's seen the new Z-Force, their Z-Force 150 horsepower like sport crossover side-by-side that's going to come in at 20 grand. You can definitely shake the bones of the big dogs, but you need to be able to undercut the pricing a lot more than that.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll see.
Yep.
So this is him being a bit of a QUALIPIECES salesman here, trapping some people on the midway here as they're coming past the booth.
He didn't really want to talk to me about my Carbides. I don't know.
I don't know why he wouldn't want to talk to you about Carbides.
So we'll show you more videos of that coming up.
The favorite part was when he cut. I have it on video. He goes in front of these one people and they're trying to like get around him. He traps him right against a Skidoo on the booth on the other side, and he goes, "Hey, what type of rider are you?" And he's pointing at the sign. And then me and the one guy from QUALIPIECES are just howling over in the corner as I'm filming this, because it was just so funny to watch.
I love that. The
biggest competitor will be Facebook. True.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. No, that was a lot of fun working in the booth there and getting it all done. But that's great. We actually made it through the night and got a show out, even though we lost a guest. And I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight and sitting through this. And John Luke gave us a wealth of information on stuff coming up. So if you're around on the weekend, make sure you stop in on Saturday to Energy Powersports. Me, Drew, Corey will be there, a bunch of other celebrities, and lots of savings to be had and lots of sights to see. It sounds like good food too.
Oh, hell yeah. And you know what? We'll be there. You'll get a bonus. I think we're going to do some Snowmobile Sessions live stuff there, maybe.
Absolutely.
So we'll, I think something kind of nice will be that we will, what's the word I'm trying to use? You're going to get more Snowmobile Sessions. You know, you missed out on maybe having a guest this week, and it was just us idiots talking, and John Luke, us idiots plus the expert. talking. And but on Saturday you'll get kind of a live on location. I know that those have done great in the past. His last year, a couple years ago at the open house, everybody really enjoyed.
It'll be a lot of fun.
If you're in the area, or if you want to make the drive or can make the drive, please come down. We love talking to fans, and we'll have lots of stickers and stuff to give out. We still got some Heydays shirts. If anybody wants to get a Heydays crew shirt, that you saw those yellow shirts on.
I know, we might have to do draws for that. There's only a couple of them left. So,
and if you bring, I don't know how much, let's say 50. If you want to buy Bullwinkle, bring some cash.
That's right.
I don't know.
And you know what?
If you want to buy any sled, bring some money down. John Luke's going to have some great used units at low financing. Great deals on accessories, 30 to 80% off, which is great for accessories, clothing, non-current, and I don't know, it's non-current stuff, but you know, if it's up to 80% off, I might have to.
And I'll bring a bag of Fresh Tracks coffee, the Snowmobile Sessions coffee, and we'll do a little draw for that too when we're there.
We got we got car air fresheners, pop sockets. Bullwinkle will be there, so if you want to take a look at the QUALIPIECES products a little bit more, I'm sure we can talk about that, because we're gonna have obviously the wheels will be on it, and we could do maybe a little parking lot demo too.
Yes, that's Saturday that we're gonna be there.
So yep,
the show's on all week. It goes from now till today till Saturday, and the action is going to be on Saturday.
I looked up their hours yesterday. I want to say they're 10 to 4 on Saturday, and we're going to be there all day. So come on out, hang out, get some good food, talk sleds, buy something from Energy Powersports, and we'll have a grand old time. We'll thanks to everyone for showing up tonight.
Yep, for sure.
I don't know what else to say. Wrap it up here.
Absolutely. I'll run the credits, but we'll see you next week.
Yeah, bon nuit, au revoir.
And we'll get it done for sure.
It's a journey.